Welcome to the VET S.O.S podcast. Remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline. We'd like to wish every veteran a safe and happy Veterans Day today. And thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice to this great nation. We are proud of all of our veterans and proud to be veterans ourselves. And can't think of a better guest to have on Veterans Day than Adam Peters. I can't wait to get into this one here. Before we do that, we are, as always, brought to you by the Who You Know Network, and we're excited to now be part of the Heroes Media Group family. So many great resources out there on Heroes Media Group, including our guest today, Adam Peters. So you definitely want to check that out and see what he's got going on. But like I said, we're sitting down with Adam Peters today. He's the founder and host of the Strategic Veteran Podcast. If you haven't checked out his show yet, you have no idea what you're missing. You want to talk about truth. You want to talk about straightforward. You want to talk about no BS. Adam's your guy. He's going to get right to the point. He's going to get down and dirty with it, man. So you got to check out his show. And moving on to enjoying the ups and downs of life's seesaw with my brother Keith. How you doing today, Keith?
Yeah, I feel like most of my retorts have to do with your size, and this is no different. If I'm on a seesaw with you, I'm just going to be in the clouds forever. Like, just hanging out.
He's a big man. He's a very large man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I didn't think that one through, did I? Yeah, we wouldn't seesaw very well together. Maybe put you and Adam on one end and then me on the other side.
There we go. Might even it out. Yeah.
Might even it out, yeah.
All right. Today we're sitting down with Adam Peters. He's the founder of Strategic Veteran Podcast, a podcast and platform helping veterans navigate transition and reinvention. He also the CAIO and co-founder of Allset Technologies, where he focuses on transforming business into AI-first companies, not just using AI in automations, but rebuilding from the ground up with AI at the core. In addition, he's a partner at Amakaya. I'm going to mess that up. Amakaya, a plant medicine retreat in the Peruvian Amazon, serving veterans, first responders, and their families through deep healing. Adam operates across tech, transformation, and truth, all with the same mission to help people take back their time, their identity, and their life. Man, I love the work you're doing. I love you as a person, man. When we met in person back in January, just we had already talked and met each other. I think I'd already been on your show at that point too. Yeah. But, we just had that instant camaraderie, I think, and really just loved sitting there talking with you and hanging out for the day. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, man. My business partner's here, taking me up to Alabama for 3 weeks to work on the Allset and get that like really in a position to scale and make some real money. And I get to have a Saturday morning with you, man. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, to be honest. So happy to be here. Happy to get to chat with you guys and just couldn't be better, man.
Well, you motivate me, man. You're sitting there, the gun show here. So I'm going to have to get back in the gym and maybe come out with some VET S.O.S tank tops and,
Send it, bro. I'll rep that shit all day long, man. This is the uniform, right? No, dude, I've worked really hard to get here because, I'm sure we'll get into it, right?
Yeah. Well, I remember seeing some of the pictures you've posted in the past, so, but yeah, let's jump into the transition story, man. Tell us how your transition went, and then we'll start moving forward from there.
If it was dismal, that's how it went. It took me 8.5 years to figure out transition. I famously say that all the time. I was medically retired in November of 2015, and I was a lifer, man. I knew my exact retirement date, which would have been June 24th of this year. Actually, that was the goal. And I was cut short by about 8 years and had no idea who I was or what I wanted to do. And just kind of was left. Can I say bad words here? I assume I can.
Yeah.
I felt genuinely like I was left standing with my dick in my hand, just like, what now? And it's kind of the foundation for everything I do now because I followed the TAP program to the T, man. I went to college. I went to flight school for 2 years, exhausted most of my GI Bill to become a commercially rated pilot. So I am a pilot. I can go fly people for money if I want to, need the hours still or whatever. Because I chose aviation as an industry, went on, used Voc Rehab to get the bachelor's degree, and then kind of COVID happened, which I was living in Washington State at the time. They'd shut down all the flight schools because you're kind of really close to people in an airplane, and they left them closed till last year, actually. So it was like 3 years of them keeping the flight schools closed. So after I got the bachelor's, which was to aid me in what I wanted to do in aviation, and then, they shut down flight schools. I couldn't train anymore. I just entered the corporate world, man, and it was not what they tell you in a tab class. It's not everybody wants to hire you because you're a veteran. I think it's everybody wants to hire you because you're a veteran and they know you're a sucker. And I went broke, man. I went broke in the insurance industry. I've done everything in the insurance industry. I started knocking doors, selling final expense to seniors, pivoted to at-home health insurance sales. When that dried up, I went to property and casualty in an Allstate agency. I got fucked out of commission there. I left and went to Medicare and Medicaid before I just laid down the licenses and said, I'm done. That was pretty much rock bottom for me. Had decided I was going to go back to flight school. Moved to Florida, took a job while I was waiting on some paperwork from the FAA, working in the sod farm, which I will say has been one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life because there's zero responsibility. You show up, you get on a lawnmower, you get, whatever plots you're going to mow for the day, put your headphones in, listen to books, podcasts, educate yourself. Nobody fucks with you. It was great. And I paid $1,000 a week after tax, which isn't bad money. You know what I mean? So I did that for a couple of months while I waited for the FAA to send me the paperwork that I needed to finish up some flight instructor stuff, take the check ride, and then actually make money in aviation. And the day before I was supposed to go back and finish that last week, I tore my bicep tendon and ended up having to have 2 surgeries. So that was really, really rock bottom for me. And then I turned it all around through the ayahuasca retreat shortly after that bicep tendon surgery. Came home from that retreat, and I don't even know how to explain it, but just let everything from corporate America go and started building everything that you just talked about. So that's my transition story from November 2nd, 2015 to where we're at today.
That's it's a heck of a journey, and I couldn't help but giggle when you're talking about working at the sod farm. I'm like, talking about rolling grass. It's a whole new meaning. I like it.
Yeah.
But man, fantastic journey, and I love the fact that you found alternative ways to get the assistance that you personally needed, because that's ultimately, I think we can all agree, what it comes down to is you need to figure out what you need in transition and what's going to help you, and you finally found that. And I mean, I'm proud of the turnaround you've made and what you're doing for this community, man. It's just, I absolutely love it. And I don't know, what do you think, Keith? Can you relate to that story at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Not quite as long of a transition, but no, definitely the failures, the frustrations, the bottoms for sure. Man, yeah, that's well, to see where you're at today, it's inspirational now. So tell us like a little bit about like how the podcast came to be. Like I'm curious, like was this like just one day or like people need to hear me talk, or was this like a bridge over time? Like, hey, like
Yes.
it kind of built upon it.
Yeah, so after I came back from that Peru trip, I had been blessed enough to have people in my life who think outside of the box, who were encouraging me to like, hey, let's start a business, let's become entrepreneurs, and like let's carve our own path in this world. I just didn't know like what that looked like, and so that bug being in my ear every now and again. He's one of my very best friends. He encouraged me after Peru. He came to stay with me for about 3 months. He's kind of a nomad. He spends a lot of time doing the expat thing or whatever. And he just kind of made my house home base for about 3 months. And when he got here, the exact day was November 5th, 2023. He encouraged me to start just posting on LinkedIn every day and then engaging with like 5 people whose content spoke to me. And the reason he said that is because he's in sales. He's a really brilliant SDR, and he's landed some really lucrative jobs through building a network on LinkedIn. He's like, it's different. It's a different social media platform. Just try it. I know you hate social media. Just try it. And I was like, okay, like, got nothing to lose. And corporate America is not suiting me. Like, I do not want to do this thing. So I did, man. I just started posting, and it was a wild journey. I started posting about personal branding, not knowing fuck all about personal branding, because that was a hot topic on LinkedIn at the time. You start chasing attention, right? Like, because you kind of know how the game works or whatever. I probably pivoted 4 or 5 times to shit like UI UX design, because I thought I wanted to do that. I don't even know all the things that I talked to. SEO was probably one of them, because my wife at the time was an SEO, and so like I had an understanding of how SEO works. I pivoted away from that because SEO is boring to me. I just didn't enjoy that. I couldn't imagine like being an SEO guy. But what I noticed started happening is people would start reaching out to you. They comment on your stuff, or they'll send you a DM. And Colby Wecker is one of my first mentors ever that I met on LinkedIn. And his DM was something like this. It was like, "Hey man, saw your post. You seem like a cool dude. I'm a cool dude. Why don't we have a meeting?" And I was like, I'm not going to kick a meeting out of bed, right? Like with somebody, like, let me just see where this goes. And then he invited me to his community, uh, which he was still experimenting with, but I got to be around other people who were building things online. And so that's how kind of I started to get ideas. And one day we're in this community meeting, and he's like, "Hey man, like, you're a vet. Vets have lots of problems. Like, maybe that should be your angle on LinkedIn." And I was like, "Okay, let's start experimenting with that." And so I really started everything with the idea that the path back to purpose for veterans is through entrepreneurship. Couple other things happened, but long story short, Colby challenged us to go meet people in our local area in person, like a networking event. And so I reached out to this creator. His name's Mike Romaine. He met me at Disney Springs on a Sunday afternoon, and for 6 hours I walked around and just got a masterclass from this guy. But the thing that stuck with me the most was he said, "You're not the guy who's going to get his message across behind a keyboard. Have you thought about a podcast?" So I just came home and I got started. So the podcast started, like I said, with the idea being the path back to purpose for veterans is entrepreneurship. I still very much believe that. Don't get me wrong. I really think that we are uniquely suited to make our own way in this world and not play in some stupid little box that society has drawn for us. That's not to say everybody's cut out for it, because not everybody is. But as I started recording the first 10 or 12 episodes, and really trying to study my craft and like see what the pain points are, what are being talked about, I learned that like really the issue is in transition. And I was like, that's it. That's the thing that I can push on, because I look back at my journey. I look back at these conversations that I'm having with these 10 or 12 guys on the podcast, and it's just taken off from there, man. I've got over 150 episodes out at this point. I have another 20 that just need to be edited and will be scheduled and put out. There's probably 40 more on the calendar. Like, I just don't stop, man. I'm just a machine. I just keep doing this. I don't admittedly do the things that I need to do to grow the podcast. I think secretly I do it as much for myself as I do for the community. And I just enjoy it, man. I don't want to make money on veteran advocacy or anything like that. I just really want to be the guy I didn't have, and, you know, be a beacon of light. I didn't set out to be a thought leader or an influencer or have 14,000 fucking people following me or whatever, but if that's the role I have to play to make a difference in our community, then I'm willing to play that role. Because all of this started because I was sick of getting 4 or 5 notifications a month to dead battle buddies by their own hand, man. Some of the best men and women you've ever met in your entire life, the people you least expected, the ones that you always thought had their shit together, are the ones that were killing themselves. And I was like, you go to these Facebook groups and everybody's like, "Oh, so and so just did this. We've got to do something," but that's where it stops. Nobody gets off their ass and does anything. So, look, man, I'll never know what kind of difference I make, what kind of real reach I have. All I can do is rely on folks like you guys who reach out to me, say, "I love what you're doing. You are making a difference," and just keep going. And so that's what I do, man, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
I love your statement about secretly, I probably do a lot of this for myself.
I do.
Well, I completely agree with you too, because I have learned so much through the podcast. We talk about this every recording session, that I probably laugh more during the recordings than I do all week,
Yeah.
and it's just so therapeutic. And it takes a lot out of me on the recording days, because, you try to put so much into it. But all in all, I think there is a part of all of us that do this to help ourselves too, because we're having the conversations. It's staying in the forefront of our mind. We're talking about topics we wouldn't normally have a conversation about, and and so no, I love the fact that you said that though, because I think that's true with a lot of the people who are doing these types of podcasts, and
What I
it's
I think
important.
you'll relate to this too, both of you, is the other reason I keep doing it is because it's the thing that creates opportunity for me. So maybe I don't have impressive download numbers and I don't have millions of people that are subscribed on YouTube or whatever, but the opportunities that this show has created for me it's incredible. And like, why would I not keep doing that? Like, I put in minimal work on the podcast. It's not to say that I don't give it my all on recording days or whatever, but I could have mid clips, I could have shorts, I could be posting it to all 9 social media platforms to actually be growing it. I don't I don't enjoy that stuff, but it still creates opportunity. It's landed me, an equity share in Allset. It's partnered me with the Amakaya stuff. It's getting me speaking gigs. I'll be at VET Socials, well, by the time this airs, right? VET Socials will already be over. I'll be at University of Chicago the first week of October at the Military and Family Life Transition Summit. They're paying for me to go there. They're paying for my meals for the week. They're putting me in the hotel. Like, this is really cool, man. Like, this, I'm not a poor kid from Indiana is not supposed to be doing shit like this. Like, it's just, you're not supposed to have this many opportunities. Plus, like what you're saying, it's so cathartic in that all these conversations I get to have conversations with O6s, 2-star generals, the lowest private that ever served. You know what I mean? And I'm finding that, like, I was in these places with some of these guys and we never even knew it. And so I get to hear their perspective on maybe a same story that we both share. We just didn't know it. It's incredible. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And it's never a day where I'm like, man, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do, even in the low energy recordings, like I'm sure you've had, where guests they just never get it together. They're not really, you're going to have that, but like, I still put it out because it's still valuable and it's still fun.
I can appreciate that. What do you think, Keith?
Yeah, I'm loving it. There was another phrase you said. Well, first of all, I do want to comment. I have no desire whatsoever to ever be an entrepreneur. Could I do it? Probably, but I would probably drive myself into an early grave doing it. So yeah, no, I am totally cool with somebody else writing the checks, and I'll bust my butt for them. But all that to say, you said, I love the phrase, I want to be the person I didn't have.
Yeah, man.
And that, I've never heard that phrase before. I'm going to steal it if you don't mind. I love that phrase, and your podcast is so raw, right? And it's blunt, and it hits things up front in the face, talking about, again, we like to knock on tap. It is what it is, but it has its shortcomings, but also the blind spots of mental health, all that kind of stuff. So with that in mind, right, that you want to be the person you didn't have, for everybody listening right now, what's probably like the one myth you want to debunk right now for everybody, that nobody debunked for you, that you want everybody to hear?
Oh man, to distill that, I guess you have to look at it from like, what are the main problems we face in transition? So there's 3 main things I've been able to identify. I think you guys all agree with this. It's loss of identity, loss of purpose, and no sense of community or network, right? And those are the 3, hands down, the 3 biggest things. The biggest lie is that you need to follow Tab's path, right? So it's use your GI Bill, get the degree. You're a veteran. Everybody's going to want to hire you. You'll make 6 figures. Congratulations, you're successful. I argue that's where they're getting it wrong. They need to sit you down and tell you, look, you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror and have a conversation with the person staring back at you. What the fuck do you want to do? Nobody's asking you that. Everybody's preaching to you, telling you this is what you should do. This is what you should do, from the army or whatever branch you're getting out of, to your wife and kids, to your parents, to your grandparents, to your best friends. They all have this plan for what your life should look like. Nobody ever stops and asks you what you want for your life. Did anybody ever do that for you, Keith? What about you,
Nope.
Shawn?
No.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I want people to understand is like, you get a choice in what direction you go, and it could be any direction you want to go. And the only person that needs to resonate with is you. It doesn't fucking matter what other people think.
Mm. That brings up an interesting point, and you're dead on, but now you got me thinking, like, because I work full time in the transition space for all intents and purposes, and sometimes we veterans tend to be all over the map on that too, right? Like we could go do whatever we wanted to do, so we want to do it all, right? And then we put out a resume that says I'm the jack of all trades and I can do everything, and so what would you say to those folks to help them at least tighten that shot group so they're not trying to do everything all at once, kind of thing, where they find that one passion that really drives them forward?
Yeah, take a look at what you do in your free time. You can make money on anything right now, and you can turn that into a business or a job. You can find a job that pays you to do what you love. So what are you spending the most time doing? Well, I like to fish. All I want to do is fish. Cool. Go be a fishing guide. Move somewhere where you can be a fishing guide. Then you will always be on the river or the lake or whatever, fishing, making money. The other thing I think I want to hammer home on too is it's not about money. It's not about money. It's not about money. I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes, that you're used to this income and you need to make this income to support your family. I get all that, but like, there are things you could do to change your lifestyle so that you don't have to be in a miserable job that pays you that amount of money. And like, when you start looking at things from a money standpoint, you're destined to fail, man. You're gonna be miserable because that's not how it was intended to be. I'll be straight up. I started all of this November 5th, 2023, for all intents and purposes. I didn't make money until 3 months ago. For 2 years, I hadn't made a single dime, completely self-funded, didn't make a single dime, walking that tight. I've been happier than I've ever been in my entire life because I'm not chasing the dollar. I'm chasing the thing that fills my cup up. So that's where I would start, man. What are you scrolling? What are you spending most of your time consuming content on? There's a safe bet that you're probably pretty interested in that, and that's never going to get boring or soul sucking to you. So go chase something in that field. Well, Adam, I don't know how to do that. Well, look at the industry, get on LinkedIn, reach out to people who are in that industry, not because you want something, because you genuinely want to pick their brain on how you can get into that industry. That'll form a relationship, and then chances are they'll find you a spot in that industry, right? It's really not that hard. It's simple math.
Say it again for the people in the back.
It's not that hard. It's simple math. I'm a dumb grunt who figured this shit out,
That's like 30 shorts all compacted in a 1-2 minute range. I love it. That's beautiful.
Spot on too, though. It's like, and I can appreciate everything you just said, because I got out of the military with a price point, and I chased that price point, and I landed that price point, and I wasn't happy. There's a lot of things you can do with money, but money can also cause you to live a lifestyle that you don't necessarily want to live, and all these other things. So trying to figure all that out, and if you can find what makes you happy and find a way to do that for forever, you're gonna be so much happier.
Yeah.
It's absolutely spot on. So what's the future hold? Like, what are you thinking as far as a strategic veteran goes? Where do you think this is leading in the next year or two?
I really hope. I've had some people reach out that are connected to the policymakers. The real goal with this, I've said this from day one, is I'm going to make enough noise till the right people knock on my door and we can change this at a policy level. I've built a network of people in this space, yourself included, right? It's some others, Thomas McKenzie, some guys who are still active that I can't name right now, who hold a lot of rank, who have some inside information and some ways to change this. But I'd like to leverage all of those episodes, those transcripts, those real transition stories, and get in front of the Secretary of the VA or the policymakers and be like, hey, look, this is what needs to change. It's undeniable that this needs to change already. You can go look up the stats on transition, and it's terrible. It's dismal. It's ridiculous. And then actually make some serious change. And I have some really good ideas that a lot of people are on board with, and like, man, that actually makes a lot of sense and could actually work. I just need the right people to hear it, and also remind them that they work for us, not the other way around, kind of thing. Because
Say that again for the people in the
yeah,
back.
yeah. We've forgotten that about our politicians, and it's disgusting to me. But I don't mind staying. What are they going to do to me? You can't. I'm not subject to UCMJ anymore. Like, you're going to take my retirement away? Good luck. That's going to cause a shitstorm. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, but I just think
Careful
that
not to get Clintoned. That would be bad.
I mean, if you think you're man enough to come in my house and do that, let's get it on, because you guys sent me to war a bunch. I'm pretty good at the war thing, but that's the goal with it, man. I don't know, just to keep doing it for myself, man, to really let it see what opportunities it brings, see where it can go. I'd like to get on stages and like actually make a difference in as many humans' lives as I possibly can. It's kind of my new, people asking me now that I'm getting to the point where they're asking me, what do you want your legacy to be? I really think for me, I spent a lot of my life being a terrible human being, and I don't want to be a terrible human being anymore. I just want to be a decent human to other humans. My whole goal with anything that I do is to just help people take that one or two steps in the positive direction of their journey, and knowing that I had a hand in that is enough for me. That's really what I'm here to do. I want to stop the suicide epidemic, because it doesn't have to be the way that it is. I want to help boost the recruiting numbers. Our nation's veterans are our biggest recruiters, and we've treated them like shit. We're in a bad way, man. And the answer is not throw pills at it and hope that it works itself out. It's like, it's the work that you and I are doing. It's having these open conversations and not sugarcoating the shit, man. Like saying the quiet parts out loud, the shit nobody wants to talk about, the shit that the algorithms look. The algorithm on LinkedIn does not like me. I put fuck in my posts, you know what I mean? But this is who I am, and I'm not going to change that for anybody. And I'm still having success. So, like, what I have to say apparently resonates and needs to be said. And so I'm just going to keep making the noise until the right people knock on the door, man.
Well, I love what you're doing, brother. And, I love the path you're on. I really do. I think your goals of, being a good human and treating people, I think you're spot on with that, man. I think you're doing a great job with it, and I'm proud to call you a friend, and a colleague in this podcast space, man. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and I hope you make it to the stage, because I can't wait to see what you wear on stage.
You're looking at it, man. You're looking at it. This is it, man. Just wait. You'll see the University of Chicago stuff will come out. I already have permission from the people who invited me. I was like, you guys know how I'm showing up to this, right? And they're like, the guy that actually reached out to me to put this on, he's like, that's intentional. I want them to see that you can be successful doing it your own way. And so I'm really excited for it too, man.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Well, we are at time. We didn't even get to talk about Allset or Amakaya, but we'll have to bring you back on and probably two more times just to talk about those other two things. But awesome stuff, Adam. Before we go, two more questions. One's kind of long, so I'll try to make it as short as possible. So if you had $1 for every motivational influencer trying to sell the secret sauce to transition, which would you buy? Better podcast gear or fund a permanent no bull hotline for vets? So go ahead.
The hotline, man. The hotline. Yeah.
And then lastly, how can people get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you to support or listen or join or whatever?
Yeah, the best way to get a hold of me is LinkedIn. You'll find me. I'm hard to miss. I have a website, thestrategicveteran.com. You can get to everything that I do from there as well. Just don't judge too hard. It's a little out of date. I do a lot of things, and that's not a high priority, is keeping that thing updated. And then the podcast is literally everywhere. The Strategic Veteran on all podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all the other platforms nobody's ever heard of. You can find me at Megaphone on HMG. You guys remember that network, if I'm not mistaken. Adam Bird's an incredible human and mentor to me. Love that man to death. And yeah, that's it, man. And look, DM me, email me. People are genuinely surprised. I respond to literally everything. I send my calendar link to everybody who asks me for time. I'm not, just because I have a huge following doesn't mean you can't reach out. Like, I'm getting so sick of people saying, when they reach out in the DMs, like, I don't expect you'll ever read this, or I don't expect I'll ever get a minute of your time because you're getting too big or whatever. That's not me, man. I really am here to do what I said I'm going to do and be the guy I didn't have, but also like just be an ear for vets going through it, man.
Absolutely.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Kindred spirit right there. I do the same thing. So yeah, no, awesome stuff, Adam. Thank you so much for coming on. And before I wrap this up, we didn't even mention it, but I got to just say, game recognizes game. Love the beard, bro. Good stuff, man. Keep rocking it. And forever. Go ahead.
I'm waiting for it to turn white like yours, man, because
Yeah,
it's such a good look, dude.
Yeah, I used to have that. Well, there's still just a little bit of dark, but I used to have those. It went all the way down. That was pretty cool. But yeah, life's lifey, and it's all turning gray now. So.
We're getting old, brother. We're getting old.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Exactly. Yep. All right. Well, on behalf of the VET S.O.S family, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. VET S.O.S is growing and spreading its wings. You can follow us on all the social media platforms that Adam was rattling off. Make sure to check out all 4 of our shows and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcast from. But yeah, some others are like YouTube, Reach Across America Radio, HMG, the whole Heroes Media Group that Adam mentioned, and all those other platforms out there. And as always, folks, remember, don't drown in the sea of transition. Grab the VET S.O.S lifeline.